overseas.
Another Fox News alert. New questions this morning about whether terrorism could be to blame for the crash of Air France Flight 447. News reports just out say that days before Sunday's air tragedy, Air France received a phoned-in bomb threat for a similar flight. It is a disturbing twist in the mysterious circumstances that brought down the jet carrying 228 people. Good morning, everyone. On that note, we begin here on a Wednesday. I'm Megyn Kelly in America's Newsroom.
And good morning, I'm Bill Hemmer. The flight reportedly threatened the heading from Buenos Aires, Argentina to Paris on Wednesday, May 27th. That was 4 days before the fateful flight left on Sunday night of this past weekend. It was delayed 90 minutes last Wednesday while police searched for the plane for explosives. Eventually cleared for takeoff, no problem. Right now, there is no conclusive evidence about what caused that flight that plunged 35,000 feet into the depths and the darkness of the Atlantic Ocean. Former FBI investigator, terrorism analyst Bill Daley, my guest in New York. And Bill, good morning to you.
Morning, Bill.
How do we determine whether or not this was indeed a bomb?
Well, Bill, obviously the wreckage is the most significant piece of evidence that needs to be looked at. If we go back to what happened during TWA 800 off the coast of Long Island, at first everyone thought terrorism just because of the circumstances, very similar. Planes, just don't fall out of the sky. There were some circumstances there that suggested, well, something catastrophic happened. After a laborious effort, the FBI, local police, investigators put together the wreckage, and through some tests, they were actually able to test fragments of the seats and the carpeting to see if there were any residue of explosives. They actually found some, but nothing relating to the incident. They actually found that there was a test done several months before where they were looking to train bomb detection dogs, etc., and that was what the residue was from. So the evidence here is how the plane was destroyed, and if there were any fragments left that could be tested scientifically and chemically to see if there are any explosive residue.
They reassembled that entire plane, Flight 800, in an airport hangar here in New York. It was laborious, as you mentioned there. The depths of the ocean, 23,000 feet. If you can't find and recover the black boxes, can you determine what happened?
Well, yes, there's some, if you're able to pull together some of this forensic information from the wreckage that may be now floating on the top of the ocean, but is probably quickly sinking. So as soon as possible for them to be able to retrieve as much as they can is their best course. The black boxes, and from what we understand, there are two of them. They have responders in them that will have batteries sending out signals for up to 30 days. But as you pointed out, Bill, these are very, very deep and will require some special equipment, probably special equipment, if not from the French Navy, then maybe even borrow from the U.S. as well, because of the very, very deep nature of this.
By the way, the floating debris field is spread out in two different areas, 35 miles apart. It tells me the plane may have split in half before it hit the water.
And Bill, that's exactly right. It does sound like, from that description, something happened above the water as opposed to when it hit the water, and I think to your point.
Fair point. Bill Daley, thank you for your time. And the answer, ultimately, of this mystery may be locked in the plane's flight data and cockpit voice recorders, as we mentioned, the so-called black boxes. There is a search underway in the wreckage off the coast of Brazil. Remember, this is 400 miles off the coast. Some experts say this might be one of the most difficult recovery missions going back to the years of the Titanic. A live report on the efforts there coming up this morning.